cover-up murder case of Ted R. Schmidt, 9-3 of 99. I'm hoping that someone will pull the knife out of my heart. And my granddaughter has this page here that we're going to read off of, and we're going to tell you how bad this is.
This
convoluted
paper is everything that was pulled from the case, listed 1 through 15. Number 1, no phone records checked of calls made from Otis's numbers on September 3rd of 1999 from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. as to who was called was a verification. Number 2, there was no background checks on Otis McMullen on the previous accidental death on which he did time for, which was violent nature and cunning. Number 3 was drinking. No other person had any test for alcohol. Ted was portrayed as very drunk or drunk on 6-pack of Ice House and 2 quarts of beer in a 4-hour max span, with blood level of only at 10 or 0.10 max. No drugs. No questions asked on the coroner's report. There's something I want to add in here too. The coroner's report, which was also the autopsy report, was done at the property.
No lie detector or
voice stress analyst tests given to suggest any guilt or non-guilt in suspicious death. Connections of local firemen and relationships to Otis and Ruby Jean Rhodes, who were called to the scene first. No questions asked by officers. That was a cover-up. Coroner's report states no time of death or estimation.
Estimated.
Relies only on an officer's report, which loosely is assembled. Differences of opinion by trained Collier County EMS and firemen on body was cold and or warm. The time element on when Ted arrived could not have left Fort Myers before 5:30 p.m. Arrived in Copeland at no earlier than 7:15 p.m. Never questions asked or raised, and it was a 1.5 hours from arrival to death. How did the knife blade broken from a handle get into the kitchen or sink wiped off out of Ted's chest? While handle was found in the living room, no questions asked about this at all. The knife blades did not fall out of the chest when buried and handled broken off.
Now I'm going to say something right here. Whenever you have an upfront personal stabbing, blood goes everywhere in the room. It can go up on the ceiling, over on the walls, and there was not the first test of any of that in the home. None. Zero.
No one but Otis and Newman asked at all about any previous bad blood between Ted and Otis or any prior altercations. There were several, as described by Kenneth and Jonna in Copeland at the Otis house. It was a family cover-up.
Big time cover-up.
Injuries on the body, very definitely not consistent with descriptions of accidental
No, because his legs were slashed.
Punctures. Damage to foot and legs, height of death wound from other injuries to torso, which was a 7.5 inches.
But they're all saying one knife wound.
All witnesses' stories use the same to the exact words, description of offense, and in many instances, which were all adults.
And all of them that we have read to you, they are repetitious.
No investigation given at all to story of what really happened by the informants. Assumed to be rumors and I'm not sure how to say that. It's that one.
I can't hardly see this small.
Indigenous. I'm the worst with big words. I apologize.
That's all right. By Covell, due to the officer's involvement.
Where was Ted's money? Ted was paid that Friday $1,000 even.
And that was only for 4 days of work.
Friday was payday. Kenneth Schmidt saw the money. Also, no necklace or other personal effects found. Asked for or even hinted about, see last paycheck from the employer.
Not only that, let me say this on that. In the statements, they can't make up their mind if he was naked or if he had clothes on. It's really trying.
And the last and certainly not least, number 15, it appears by all investigative findings that everyone involved was accepted as truthful statements, although many instances presented no further investigative work done other than the statements. Good old boy tactics.
Yeah, good old Bubba nepotism. You know the words.
Mm-hmm.
You do, Detective Koval, and all these names, Sneely, whatever. You people need to come forward.
Outsider Ted considered the cause
and
of
by
problem.
the way, the state's attorney is now not Swit. She's married to Fox. So I do my detective work too. Hello. And that's what I'm after. Somebody to do the detective work that my granddaughter and I are having to do with this mess.
There was no further investigation done. The case was closed. The brother-in-law, Bubba, typed attitudes used. No in-depth investigation.
And we're going to still be on here. I'm not giving up on my son, and I'm not giving up on this case. Hear me well. You will take the knife out of my heart. God bless.